guys, happy Monday. I hope you have a lovely day. Okay, this is going to be a weekly throw, and I would suggest that it's one of those throws where you just want to pack it in your arsenal and bring it forward. Okay, maybe it's something that you want to change your thought processes on things, or you want to develop a thought process, or you're listening to this thinking, what the hell is a thought process? You figure it out along the way. But I think that that's where a lot of the time the train goes off the track, is we don't even think about what our thought processes are. We just assume they're innate in us, and we just make decisions how we've always made decisions. You know what I mean? And you're listening to me and just thinking, yes, well, it's just common sense. I mean, how are you supposed to make a decision? Well, the problem is that it's not that common, right? And it's not that simple. When we make decisions and we're not really thinking about what our intentions are, what our feelings are, and what our thought is, what is our reason? What are we trying to accomplish here? And how are we getting there, right? What is the goal here? Sometimes when we're really not thinking like that, we're making decisions and not really thinking about what the consequence could be. When we make decisions and we have our thoughts in there, our feelings are in there, our intentions are in there, we're driving the bus in a concrete way. We have our GPS honed in on where we want to go. We're not spending our entire life making U-turns, right? And, things like that. So I'm putting that out there because I think that it's really going to be important, because I think a lot of things with this energy too are going to be brought front and center as to why do I keep ending up here? You know what I mean? And if you're asking yourself that question, how do I keep ending up here? It's because you maybe just want to hone in and, update your thought processes, right? And how you get from here. You get on the bus and where do you get off, and what's your purpose in that, right? I know that sounds trivial, and it's not that I'm not downplaying this, but it's something I think we really don't think about. And if we did, we wouldn't end up in the situations that we end up in, and we wouldn't be so afraid to feel any discomfort. You know what I mean? When it becomes common nature, you know what I mean? Like when I'm constantly in a state of influx, or I'm constantly in a state of waiting, or I'm constantly in a state of discomfort, the last thing you want to hear is that something's going to hurt, right? But we can avoid a good percentage of this stuff if we just start making common sense based choices. Really, common sense is what it comes down to. You know what I mean? This may not end well. That's common sense. You know what I mean? But knowing that and then following that are two totally different things. And the reason I'm putting this out there, and I'm sorry this isn't a Susie Sunshine reading, but it's life. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to give you something in your arsenal here that helps it progress in a healthy way where you actually enjoy your life, right? Joy is intelligence. It really is. Nobody talks about that though. You know what I mean? So I'm bringing these things front and center so that you can empower your life and you can make wiser choices for yourself. So there you go. I'm done with that. Now we come in with the Three of Swords. Okay. We've got the Strength card, the Ten of Wands, and the Wheel of Fortune. Now this all goes back to, in life when we learn to go with the ebbs and flows, and sometimes life just sucks, right? Sometimes things just don't work out. Sometimes people break our hearts. Sometimes we put expectations on things that they don't just measure up, period. It's just how it goes. You know what I mean? Things come up, things go down, destiny, fate, doom, gloom, happiness, joy. It's all part of the game. We can't be in one place all the time or we would never grow. All right, so what I want to say here is, I think for some of you, patience is in the mix here. I think you're working with something or someone, and I think that sometimes it's just going to require a little bit of patience here. Okay, others of you, I think that you're learning the knowledge of value and reward, right? For some of you, I think that there are dynamics in here where it's you do this and I'll do this. You know what I mean? It's like a tit for tat kind of deal. What I want to say is I think that some of you are in relationships, be it business partnerships, or I tend to think, though, it's going to be a relationship where it's going to, if it's a business relationship, you're both pretty much, you should be on the same rung of the ladder. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be a partnership business employer-employee. It would be, you know, on common ground there. Now, for some of you, I want to say, I think you're jumping into things that are ending up as, I think when you get something, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I've got this relationship now. Now you realize that there may have been a reason why you had to hit 50 dead ends and the universe finally opened and gave you what you want. But it was more than likely just to show you that there was a reason that you hit 10 dead ends first. You know what I'm saying? That this probably, you know, which was supposed to be your castle in the sky, ends up being a prison. You know what I mean? Like you ended up getting in a relationship with someone that, you know, there's no, the love isn't what you thought it would be, or something fails you. You know what I mean? I feel, you know, deceit, disappointment, breakups, parting of ways. I think with the Strength card in here, it's about wise decisions. Again, it really goes back to common sense. You know what I mean? Suppression of your instincts. And that's what I was talking about in what are your thought processes? Do you know you're heading straight into the, you know, the ring of fire and you go anyway? Or do you kind of table that and just realize that, you know what, I'm going to put some wisdom and some virtue in here and I'm going to, you know, head off that disaster right away? Because the 10 of Wands coming in here is really asking you, you know what I mean? Are you going to use some common sense here, or are we going to witness a disaster? You know what I mean? How severe is the pain going to be with that 10 of Wands, right? Stress, overload, unnecessary efforts you're putting into something. Maybe someone really just doesn't, you know, that 3 of Swords can be too. You know, I've been wanting to ask this person out, but she always, or he always seems to be with someone else. You know, maybe I'm just going to give up the effort and realize that this person just goes from relationship to relationship and they're never really open to, you know, something. Maybe I realize here that, you know, this isn't the person that I thought it was, and I'm going to go on to something else. You know what I mean? It's a common, the 3 of Swords really just is, you know what, I don't always enjoy making these decisions, but I know if I don't break this pattern, I'm going to end up, you know, here again. You know what I mean? Life is not always about waiting. Jump on that wheel of fortune, because that's, you know, ups and downs in life. But when you go with that, it opens doors for you that you're able to see when you're not sitting on the doorstep of someone that's got their door shut. You know what I mean? You want to live in it where there's a heartbeat. You know what I mean? A pulse. You want to know what your end goal is before you jump into something. Okay, and that's the only reason that I'm putting that out there. I think what this does too, and we're going to see this with the Mars and Saturn, Pluto. It's what do I do with, you know, courage and patience and diligence and really keeping my eyes open and looking at what I'm looking. Am I really seeing what I'm looking at? You know what I mean? That way we head off the disaster of that 10 of Wands. And that's what I feel it is in here. With the Wheel of Fortune, okay, keep in mind, the wheel is always turning, but you've got to be able to, you know, it's things too. When we're open to, you know, the natural ebbs and flows of life, that's when people and places and things come in and you know, we're swept up our feet and we just like, wow, I didn't even see that. I could not have figured that out with my 5 senses. I really just couldn't, right? But it just reminds you that, you know, different times come and different times go, right? Failure, joy, vice versa, right? We've got to be open to all of it. Sadness, happiness, impermanence. Be open and be okay with impermanence, okay? Valuable lessons, joy, happiness, success, luck, change. Be open to change. That's what I think is in here. I know that this reading is a little strong. I wish I could give you lovely sunshine readings, but I want to give you something that you can actually use in your life. You know what I mean? These are choices. We've got a lot of stuff. I feel that whatever this is, we really need to look at. When I'm pulling this, the moon is at 29 degrees in the 7th house of Capricorn. Okay? I'm going to have a plan for this. You know what I mean? But it's also about a need for security. 7th house is relationships. You know what I mean? But what's looking back at you? You know what I mean? What is looking back at you? You want to pay attention to that. See what's looking back at you as far as people go, as far as situations go. You know what I mean? There's a real superficial, unpredictable, strong power of seduction in here. I think you've got to look at that. In this scenario too, this is a scenario where, you know, it would be someone who really married for money. Like the marriage would more be business oriented. It wouldn't be so much. It would be, you know what, we're a power couple. We're better together as a power couple. We can make more money together, but the emotions really aren't there. So you need to ask yourself, really just look at your life and the decisions that you're making. And if you're fine with them, then that's great. You know what I mean? But if you're not, really take an assessment of it and really write on a piece of paper your feelings in something, your thoughts about it, right? And what is my intention here? Is this practical? You know what I mean? And practical can be fun too. It just doesn't end up in this. You know what I mean? It doesn't end up in that where you're whipped all around, you know, waiting for the next disaster. You know, with the 10 of Wands in here, it's how bad do you want the pain to be is really what it comes down to. You know what I mean? So I'm sorry, guys. I wish this could be a lovely, lovely reading, but I think it is because knowledge is power. I would rather know something, learn from it, and thank God for it and try to do better next time. You know what I mean? So that's what I feel that this is about. I hope that it helps you in some way. Okay. I am just a little sidebar. I'm going to be doing the monthlies continually. I'm going to do the dailies and the weeklies when I can. I'm extremely inundated. I am emotionally burnt out. My client base is extremely high and I'm beyond grateful for that, but I've got to put my dedication there. So I'm going to cut back on my videos on YouTube. There is enough out there, you know, that I think that it will suffice. So I hope that I helped you in some way. If you need a private reading, please reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to do anything with you. I think this is a phenomenal reading. I really do. I think that it really just asks you, though, to look at, you know, what are your thought processes and are they good for everyone? You know what I mean? In here, my last thing is I just want to make you conscious of things don't need to be good for me. They need to be good for we. Meaning not just you in things. You know what I mean? It could be you on the receiving end of someone that you know is, example would be a player. You know what I mean? It's not just about them. It's about you averting disaster here too. You know what I mean? So it's not just about, they may not even see that you're helping them along the way, but you are because you're showing them that no, they can't get everything that they want just by, you know, the power of seduction. You know what I mean? So it's a bigger message that you're sending out, but it's very, very empowering for you. Okay, so there you go. I hope that I helped you in some way. Have a wonderful day.